the impression of my confidence was often inferred as arrogance. Like, yeah, Micah, keep dancing, do that thing you do with Michael Jackson. Definitely a mommy's boy. But I wanted to take off the superhero outfit, still be the superhero, but as Michael. It's another reason why I want to take a break. Ha, top off. I kind of miss the early stages of Bagsy. Hi, this is Bagsy, and you're watching Behind the Scene.
Kids have to understand that your journey is your own.
I was raw power.
And he wanted to enroll me in football, and Mum was like, I don't think that that's what this child is meant to do.
I think if you can't be yourself in the space, it's tricky and it's hard.
I discovered who I was and I was going to own that position. You have to, otherwise they're going to cancel the Waacking category and then Waacking will die. Next question.
I'm born and raised in London, South London, of Nigerian descent, both Yoruba and Igbo. If you like, they're like Montagues and Capulets. They don't like each other, but they made me. So here we are today. I have a sister, a brother, beautiful nephew. Everyone's here. All my uncles and aunties are here. And my grandma is the only one who is now back in Nigeria, looking after the land, the goats and the sheep and the pounded yam and the fields and the houses. She's loving it out there right now. I remember writing a note to my mum at 8 years old, saying what I would like to be when I was older, or what I would like to do when I was older. And I don't know if she still has it, but I still remember it. And it was basically a letter saying that I wanted to save the world. At 8 years old, it was really strange. I think I was quite in tune with what was going on in the world at the time. And I really wanted to share love and protect and do something that could heal. I think deep down I was a bit of a protector as a young kid. Wanted to protect my family, my siblings, as much as possible. A sensitive soul, you could say. Definitely a mummy's boy. Really looked up to my mum, more than my dad per se, because I was really infatuated with the idea of just looking after and taking care of people. And it was funny because that didn't click until my mum beat my ass in school for messing around. The way I switched from bad boy to good boy was insane. And it's so vivid in my mind, the switch, that I'm forever grateful to my mum for that. I was always dancing to Michael Jackson. I always liked to show off and entertain when guests were around. I remember dancing to Dirty Diana. It's an insane video. And I think it's a live stage performance. He's going off and there's smoke and steam coming out from the ground and he's spinning around, ripping his shirt off. And I used to do that as a kid. You know how it is with African parents. They were like, yeah, Micah, keep dancing, do that thing you do with Michael Jackson. And I was that kid. And I really enjoyed that. That was some of the highlights of my youth. So I was very active. Funny enough, being the firstborn, there's a lot of pressure to protect the firstborn. So I wasn't really allowed to do a lot of things that I really wanted to do for fear that I would hurt myself or terrible things would happen. But I would always be interested in doing gymnastics or martial arts. I wanted to do these things, but I couldn't. So I tend to focus on what I could do at school. And I did a lot of athletics, did a lot of, moving into secondary school now, I would move into like rugby. So I played a lot of basketball, of course, I forget. Played a lot of basketball as well. I always wanted to get out of the house and do stuff and just move and be active. Well, I started off as a fanatic in engineering, science, maths, biology, technologies, really into it. I was really into fighter aircrafts. So I wanted to be a pilot for as long as I can remember because I wanted to fly airplanes. But I wasn't really allowed to because my mum was too scared of me flying and stuff like that. So I thought if I couldn't do that, I could build them. I could design them. So I was really focused in engineering. So I was doing that for a while. all the way from secondary school, doing really well at that level, and then moving into university and studying aeronautical engineering. And that's what really took me on my path to study engineering and hopefully make my parents proud by getting a degree that they always wanted their first eldest son to get. But it wasn't until I started uni that I got introduced to dance. I was introduced to dance through a friend, and I was trying to impress her. It was always about impressing a lady at some point, especially at that young stage in your life. And she took me to Pineapple Studios. I can never forget. And it was my first time learning a style called locking. And it was the first teacher called Jimmy Williams at Pineapple Studios. And I was infatuated by this style, predominantly by the music. I was taken aback by the music. I haven't really heard so much funk and disco, and then even electro played in a class before of that caliber. It was so new to me. So taking this class, I took the advanced class because she thought I could do it. So I said, whatever, let me just try and jump into it to impress her. And I ended up getting lost in the class. I started to do the routines that were set out by myself. And, classes would normally go half and half. One class would dance and the other class would watch, and it would switch. But I ended up keep dancing both and both. And I remember my teacher was like, don't stop him. Let him keep dancing. And it was such a warm, compelling moment that I was hooked on this art form, on this street dance. And I think that was the beginning that catalyzed my hunger to learn more about this culture. Not just in the UK, but just what this culture was. And next door to the studio, I would say I met my really, really close friends, really close friends that are still pretty close to this day, that changed my life. And it would have been like Alex Mechanical P, the late James Painting, who blew my mind away. And he was such an amazing energy, bit of an alien when it came to dance. Alper, Adam, so many great people that I met in this other studio. And they introduced me to a style called popping, and animation, and waving, floats and glides. There was so much abundance in information of this dance style that I just didn't know when to stop. I just wanted to learn more. And I think it was from that moment, it was almost like the pin drop, or a seed had been sown in my heart that this is something that I have to do, or I needed to do. Engineering was there. I was good at it, but it wasn't my calling. It wasn't my vocation. There was a void in me that needed to be filled. And I think at the time it was dance. And then from then on, I took what I learned in London to my university. I opened up the first street dance community up there. It's still going today. It's known as Rawkus. Go check it out at Loughborough University. And it went from 20 to 50 to 150 members. We put on shows at F&D. We performed around Loughborough University. We even created an event called The Good Flow, which was a lot of fun. It was the first time I met DJ Renegade and Clara and got them involved, and had my first attempt at creating an event. And it was actually at university that I discovered Just Debout. And as a crew, we all went to France together. It was like a school trip. Like we organized a trip to Just Debout. Really, really fun memories. It puts a smile on my face every time I think about it. Some of the best memories I've ever had. at making this happen. And at this event, oh my gosh, like, I would say, like, I listened to a lot of music, and I did not like house. Oh, I couldn't stand it. It was so monotonous and repetitive. It was so different to funk and disco, and there wasn't much I could get out of it. So I wasn't really feeling it. It was very, very different to garage, obviously, at the time, but house, deep house, tech house, I was just like, when's it gonna happen? I didn't really get it. And then I saw house perform their Just debut, and my mouth was on the floor. There was this beautiful art and poetry of movement within the music that I had never seen before. And that, again, just added another seed and catalyzed my passion to learn more about dance. So I've just been doing locking and popping. Now I want to learn about house.
Bagsy.
As I started to get more access to underground competitions and battles and events, I would see certain dancers. I don't really know particularly who they were, but I would hear names and I'd be like, okay, they're well known. And then I would see a lot of choreography. Choreography was really, really big. Probably bigger than the underground scene then. It was a lot of choreo. And I heard about the jump off. That was really, really big event back in there. I don't know if it's still going, but they had a lot of dance competitions, but also they had like rap battles and some other stuff. It was wild. So that was like the first little touch of the underground scene that I witnessed. And then I think it just grew from then. But then something happened at a particular point in my life during that time, and I had to leave the country. And that was the time I went to Japan. At that point in time, I would just finish university, and I said to myself, I need to leave. I really need to dance. I've got to get out. There wasn't enough dance in London or UK at the time that I needed. There wasn't enough. And YouTube gave me access to Japanese dancers. And I was like, who are these kids? 8-year-old kids. Killing it in every style. And I was like, what are they eating? What are they drinking? How is this possible? This is like, Black American culture in terms of street dance, but it's an abundance of it in Japan, in Asia. Why is this? How is this even possible? So I thought to myself, I'm gonna leave London, and I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna live there. I'm gonna train there. I'm gonna learn there, and I'm gonna immerse myself in the culture to understand why are they so great. Japan was the best decision I had ever made in my entire life at that point in time. It was life-changing, not just as a dancer, but as a person. It made me see who I am. It really stripped down my vulnerabilities and left me there bare naked because I didn't know anybody. I was a nobody. I was a blank canvas. So I had to be myself wholeheartedly. And, through my imperfections, through all my faults, I just had to just be Michael. I would say it was Michael first, because I was going there, you know, as a scholar to understand the culture. And then, you know, Bagsy kind of really, that's when Bagsy started to grow in Japan, really grew in Japan. And I created families, like I would say my dance family out there in Japan, who took me under their wing and trained me and looked after me. And I battled almost every weekend. I was at an event almost every other day, working during the day time, teaching English and maths.
Special English time today. Just repeat after me. I tell her, men's not hot. Man's not hot. Pop, pop, kak, kak, kak. Skitty, pop, pop. Skitty, pop, pop. And boom, 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 boom.
Eigo kyoshi, as they say in Japanese. I learned Japanese. I studied Japanese. I studied to read and write. And yeah, my career, my knowledge, my self-expression, and my understanding of who I am really took shape when I went to Japan. I don't think my parents were happy about that, leaving engineering to go and pursue dance. But I was like, I'm gonna be there for 1 year, Mom. I'll be right back, and I'll be at Rolls-Royce or Ministry of Defense in no time. Ended up staying in Japan for 4 years. Yeah, didn't really want to leave. I was doing so well out there. I was working, I was enjoying myself. But I did have to come back because my parents really needed me back home. So I had to put a stop on that life in Japan, which was kind of sad, but you know, it was bittersweet because it was also important that I came back. Because having gone to Japan and come back, it was like I began a new starting point in my life to really, okay, now this is the beginning of Bagsy, and really pursued my career as a dancer from then on. I kind of missed the early stages of Bagsy.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was a time, because I had to look back at my old videos and it was like, yo, I used to do that? And there was a time when I really didn't care. Like, so fresh. You just wanted to just do, and you just did not care. And I think even just that, especially in the scene here in the UK, a lot of people didn't really resonate with that, you know, because I wasn't part of any crew or any clique. I was a solo performer, a solo battlist. I just represented myself a lot. And it was often quite hard because I'm quite a big fella, I'm quite tall, I stand out. So the impression of my confidence was often inferred as arrogance. And a lot of people didn't really know who I was or talk. Only those who did talk to me like knew who I was. But those who could only see what they will see would think like, who is this guy trying to do all these styles and dance this and do that? Who does he think he is? And you know, the resentment and animosity was very, very clear. to a point that I almost quit dancing in the UK. I was like distraught. I was almost depressed because there was a lot happening that I thought, I'm just trying my best to be me, but it's not being accepted. The experience I had in Japan was awesome, but it's not the same in London. So I had to take a step back and there was almost some self-doubt as to, is there something wrong with me? Luckily I had Archie, and he laughed about it. He said, "This is exactly what I went through." The same. That ability to have somebody that can associate what you're going through what they went through was so powerful, because it told me that I wasn't alone in my issues, in my problems. And that allowed me to go even further, because I was like, yeah, I don't care anymore. So I was raw, like raw power, flying around, jumping around, doing this. And it was just watching myself back. It's just a lot of fun. And then as the years go by, I start to refine myself. I start to take more classes from different people. Went to like Lockeroo, and I went to Victor Manuel and did loads of little classes, and even took classes from Kumari one of those times back in LA, and refine myself till I started to find my style, my movement. But I was always a performer. I really wasn't 100% into clean cut, ice cold technique. I wanted to move like those men I saw at Caesar Palace performing with Diana Ross. I wanted to move like them. And what I meant by move like them, I wanted that freedom of self, that 100% self-love that they had. That was always in me. And I didn't want to let go of that. It was more of an abundance when I was younger. Maybe not so much now. But I'm always wanting to go back to that. And I would say, that's what it was like for me when I was a young whacking battler. Meeting people massively. It's a community space. It's beautiful to just meet all kinds of people from all around the world, connect, talk, exchange, dance, and speak that one universal language that everybody understands. That's movement, and everybody comes under one roof to celebrate music. So that was one thing from battling. Music, just stepping into the room and hearing Cheryl Lynn or Chaka Khan or Luther Vandross just blazing, and I'm just like, yo, where is my sequins jacket? Right now, I need to own the floor. In the early stages of my battling career, winning and losing meant a lot to me at a younger stage. But now, I really looked forward to sharing a stage with somebody who was great. that's what I started to look forward to. I really loved, like, if I was to battle Doma from Poland, I was excited because I know she's fire and I know whatever happens, something magical is going to happen on this floor. Or if I was battling Lip J, I know something insane, or Munyo, or, you know, or Boo Boo, or just anybody, like anybody, because I know they are both my teacher and my student. I'm going to show them something and they're going to show me something. It's never one is better than the other. It's about, we're about to exchange and create something for everybody to watch, because that's the gift we're going to give them when they go home tonight. That's something that they're going to remember. That was one of the 3 things that I love about battling. So many more costumes to wear. So many more tricks and dynamics and stuff that I still got in my pocket that I haven't shown yet. And it's another reason why I want to take a break, because I wanted to go back to me. I think the first time that I decided to explore theatre was when, this is the latest stage of my life now, it's actually when I decided to do a judge solo at an event that represented not Bagsy, but Michael Oladele. It was really, it was like going through Bagsy to use Bagsy as a conduit to understand Michael more. Bagsy was like the armor, the shell, the superhero that would go out and dance and perform and save the world. But I wanted to take off the superhero outfit, still be the superhero, but as Michael. And be like, they're not separate. They're one of the same person. And I made this decision when my grandfather passed away. And I wanted to dedicate this piece to him. And I'm very grateful to this event. If it wasn't for this event, I wouldn't have done it. It was Eleganza. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event. And I came out with the big purple skirt at Eleganza. And people lost their minds. They were like, what is this? Like, they've never seen me in this state before. They've always seen Bagsy, happy-go-lucky, pure energy, bam, bam, entertainment, entertainment. But then I went really solemn and deep and into my cell with this piece. And I was so vulnerable. So vulnerable at this stage that I had everybody was crying. Like, I was so in it. And Archie at the end was like, now we see Michael. We know who Michael Oladele is. And Madoki was there at the time, watching the show, and she said to herself, this needs to be on stage. And she graciously asked me to bring it to her event to perform at the theatre section. And that was the first time I thought, oh wow, we bring this to theatre. Waacking, first of all, needs to be in the West End, Broadway. It needs to be on stage. It has to be in theatre. It's musical theatre, it's Waacking. But it's also a great way to express and tell story. The dance, Waacking and punking. So that's when it hit me to see if I could develop this piece with this skirt, this energy, this manhood, this African heritage, this blackness, this regality on stage at Breaking Convention. And I was lucky to perform Breaking Convention, back to the lab, some will dance forever. It was such a beautiful journey for me that it's still present, still growing and developing. And who knows where I will take the theatre thereafter.
For the first time in 30 years, Coors Light has an ad in the big game.
Actually?
So I didn't really think about it until 2018. That's when it first popped into my head. And it was, again, because of Archie and Tyrone Proctor. I did an event in Bali. Oh, it was an amazing event. Oh, loved it. And Tyrone was there. And I performed. And he called me over. He said, Bagsy, come here. Sit down. It's like, you should stop doing this. You don't need to do this anymore. You're bigger than this. You leave the balling to somebody else. You need to be in the movies. You need to be, because I can see it. You should be there. When he said that, I was like, I got emotional. I was like, what? This is why it's so important to have mentors or older generation, look after the younger generation. It's so important because I only had myself, but it wasn't for them to put this in my head and to see it that I would never thought, maybe I should pursue it. Then lockdown came. All of my dance work cancelled. It hurt. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? Well, maybe now is the right time to try acting, try stunts. And luckily at the time there was an organization, Take 3, as they're called, and they do a lot of stunts and spec work, and I got involved with screen combat. I fell in love with it. I did so much. And then I got my first stunt job. It blew me away. I became a stunt double for a famous actor, and that I was like, this is it. I need to go for it, and I'm good at it, and I really want to do it. And I've been pushing and pursuing, and I've been very blessed to be on the sets of the Marvel movies, DC for Aquaman, BBC iPlayer, His Dark Materials, other Netflix series. I was even lucky to do acting doubling for Samuel L. Jackson in another Marvel movie, or Marvel series, I would say. So it just fell in place beautifully. And I was like, I need to push. And if it wasn't for Waacking, really, I kid you not, if it wasn't for me trying Waacking, my confidence to be myself, to perform in front of an audience, in front of cameras, to let go, to entertain, I don't think I would have had the ability to be a good performer for film and TV. The future is, I want to hold more dance events. I love that. I want to be able to see Waacking in the West End. Big show, big show. Headlining so many dancers and Wackings from around the world and performing this style on stage. And obviously, I want to be a big famous actor. not just to be like, yo, I want to be a famous actor, but actually because I would love the people I've grown up with, danced with, performed, to see me on the big screen and have a big smile and be like, you know what? That's exactly where he's supposed to be. And be like, yeah, I never had a doubt. I can see that. And inspire people that way as well. So, yeah, man. Always be dancing. It's never gonna leave me. And I cannot wait to do more. I cannot wait to share more. I love teaching. And the fact that people are inspired by me still shocks me today. I still don't fully feel that I am important in the scene. I still don't see it. It's taken a while because it's so hard for me to grasp that notion that I am a vanguard of this dance, that I am a prolific figure, because I never got into the dance for it. You know, looking at my younger self, I never thought I'm gonna be a waacking dancer. Never. It was all about locking, house, hip hop, even before that, engineering. But here I am, and it's great. And I just really, really hope that I can continue to shine a light on this dance, this culture, and inspire others' future. I really hope I can. So yeah, that's my dreams and aspirations from now on.
Battle settings, performance or technique?
Performance.
This one's from Ginger. Top on or top off?
Top on, yeah, top off.
Props, water or little fire gun?
Ooh. Fire gun.
Ooh. Beat killer or a lot of drama?
Ooh. Need this drama. Drama.
Boom. Sparkling top or colorful suit?
Colorful suit.
Impressing the judges or impressing the audience?
Impressing the audience.
Nice. Performing or battling?
Performing.
Teaching or judging?
Oh, teaching.
Hey, best song to start your day to?
Oh, that's a good one. I love listening to Dan Hartman's Countdown.
Best song to battle to?
Lolita Holloway.
I may not be there when you want me, but I'm right on time.
And lastly, where does nickname Bagsy come from?
I was in the class locking, and at the time, we're talking about 2004, 2005, and everybody was wearing parachutes. Big, baggy parachute trousers and baggy NFL t-shirts and sweatbands and wristbands, and you know, you were hip hop back in the day with the tassels. It was a bit of a trend that I really enjoyed getting a part of, because I was like, oh yeah, I feel a part of the crowd. But I was also quite big, so everything I was wearing was really, really big, and it looked even bigger on me when I was dancing. And there was a moment when I was in class and I was at the front or in a space where I was blocking people behind me, and they were like, yo, Bagsy, move out the way, in reference to what I was wearing, because it was baggy. They just nicknamed it. And I didn't know who they were talking to, but I instinctively responded. And I was like, oh, sorry, my bad, let me move out the way. And I was like, oh, no, man, that's interesting. I'm gonna keep that. But what was really interesting, which is even a moment of serendipity, is that the term Bagsy is in the Oxford Dictionary. It's a word, it means something. It means to grab something of which you desire. I was like, this is me. And I didn't even know it. So from then on, I just represented myself as